You know how crazy it is to, no, seriously though, like, you know how wild it is to really watch God work in your life when you make the most insane decisions just to trust Him. I was born into the lion's den, baby, but I don't have anything against those people. I don't. I love those people. This isn't a video to bash anybody. Like, we're past that. We're past that. Because God, yeah, you're going to be there for a little bit. It's going to be painful. You're going to be removed. But there's healing that comes with that. Because it was all purposeful. You weren't born into the lion's den to be ripped to shreds. Or you weren't tossed into the lion's den to be ripped to shreds. That's not even what I'm trying to cover here, but that's an important aspect of all of this. Because it's His work. You could say it's your obedience, but it's His work. And then to really realize on the other side of those things that you're one of His children. It was inevitable for you to return to Him and for Him to return into your life because you're one of His children. That's what this is about. And yeah, there's going to be people who don't understand and like, damn, I wish they could. But I get it, man. Like, it doesn't even matter. I'm not trying to talk about religion or anything, you know? But you're one of His children. And I can't, dude, God came back into my life. He's been here the whole time. But He slowly made me aware that He's been here. And that's not me just saying that. Like, this is what it's been. And I can't convince you in any other way if you don't understand. Or if you think it's nonsense. Whatever. Like, just to even say it, like I was like, I didn't grow up. I grew up in the church, but at a certain point, like, I left that because, dude, you ask questions and you try to be like a thinker, and they can't answer your questions. Now, honestly, I'm starting to learn for myself and believe that sometimes being a sheep, especially in this context, does not mean that you're weak, but it simply means that you're claimed. And if you're claimed by the one and true Father, then that's different to me than being a sheep who's just listening and following. But I remember when I was like 16, I was just kind of like done with that, you know? And so I really explored life in a way that was, you know, wanting to understand what it was from a very natural place. You know, it even made sense to me that we were all God in some sort of way. We were all playing, you know, the universe, if you want to put it like that. And who knows, right? But I know for a fact, I'm not trying to get into semantics. I know for a fact that there is a Father, and I am one of His. And there's a chance that you are one of His too. I don't know, man. I don't decide how things work. I don't know if, and it's not going to be a debate to me, but I'm putting this out there because, dude, it's like, how can I not speak on this? When you make choices that seem wild, that seem insane, and everybody in your life, they maybe deliberately lose hope in you. Because you were born with a certain spark and people saw that. But they were kind of hoping that shit was drowned out by their nonsense. You know, let's be honest. They were kind of hoping that. That's why I say born into the lion's den. But you made those choices. You trusted Him. That's when I said obedience. And He showed up on the other end of that. And He's fulfilled your spirit. And He's allowed you to have things in your heart that make you want to share. He's going to allow you to have abundance. He's already allowed that. us are, we don't have good direction from the world, man. The world is gonna try to confuse you and have you live in fear, but there's a essential spirit inside of you. Like I said, when you listen and you do the most insane looking things, you know, people don't understand, or whatever the case may be, that's him. He's right there with you. And it's gonna be painful at times. It's gonna be real. Like I've said before, when you kind of rip the rug out from underneath you. But when you do that, life is yours. And everything you do from there is abundance, because it's yours and it's his. Like I said, it's really his doing. But I would never take anything back. You know, and I know you probably don't know a lot about what's going on in my life or what has gone on, and I don't mean like there's bad things going on or even good things. I just mean in general, okay? But I know that I've just been in places that most people would be like, there's no way I should have had the kind of attitude that I've had about life in certain circumstances that I've been in. But life is purposeful, man. God is purposeful. Yeah, I've had grown men try to smear my name, dude. Insecurity runs rampant in so many grown men. It's like, why don't you just look in the mirror and try to get it for yourself? I get it if that darkness is consuming. I get it. I understand. But that's when it gets real. All that stuff you're talking about, whoever you may be, I'm not talking to anyone specific, but it's like all that stuff you're talking about, or you hear on Instagram or TikTok, that's real. That's when you start applying that stuff. That's when you start actually learning what it is, or applying and learning, literally learning through application what it is that you're speaking on. And then you get wisdom. Then you grow into something like, dude, you can't take life away from me. But I know that I'm going to be training people at some point. I've always known that in my life. You know, physical training, personal training is an avenue for us to get into deeper things together, you know. And someone who's like lived in his van and still ate good, still trained like a motherfucker, still slept good, still made things work for me. Been in some crazy scenarios with people. Had the closest people to me try to snuff my soul out. Not even because they're evil, but I still have been able to survive that, have a tender heart, have a strong heart, have love for my fellow human being. That's what means the world to me. So I want to take what I have, which is energy, which is some good life experience, and I want to be able to pour into you. And I want to be able to first start it with training, and there's no pressure. It's really, if I was working with somebody, or whenever I am working with somebody, it's really what is your life doing through you already, and how can I stand as a mirror for you as I am already. So, you know, when I left the lion's den officially, you could say, and when I mean the roots, when I was uprooted deep down, like God wants to gut you out. He wants to really gut you out so that he can fill himself up in there, whatever purpose he has for you. Whenever I was truly gutted out from the inside out and left the lion's den in that sense, he started bringing people to me, you know. And I can tell, even if they don't know it, they are God's people. They don't even know it. That's the crazy thing. They are God's people. You can see the spirit inside of them. And they might be talking all this shit about pagan religions, and I'm not here trying to convert anybody. It's more so the fact that, like, dude, because of what I've been through and because of the things that God has revealed to me, I can see inside of you what it is that I can just see a very similar thing, especially these black sheeps and their families or whatever else. It's amazing, and it makes me excited for these people. I'm like a little kid, and you know, they don't even know it. They don't even know the things that I'm seeing. And it's not projection. Sometimes it is, I think. Sometimes I have just projected my own spirit onto other people without realizing that they're the very same kind of people that I interacted with in the lion's den, in spirit. Cheers. So first and foremost, before training, it's being a witness, because that's what we need, man. That's what young men need. That's what I needed as a kid, is we need a witness. We need someone who could witness us in our struggles, who could witness us in our wins. And if you grew up in the kind of lion's den that I grew up in, you grew up in a place of accusatory, like, I don't know the right word, people accused you of being a type of person that you weren't, being somebody that you weren't, and nobody could really be honest with you. No one could be direct with you. That's because it was manipulation, you know, and that's okay. That's not your business. That's their problem, really. It is. But once you figure all that out and figure out what it is and you remove yourself, that's when things really get to begin. And the things as a kid, like God blesses you tenfold, dude. He brings everything back around full circle. And so yeah, it's like, let me be a witness for you. Let me witness you in your life where you're at now. You know, it's not about molding you into any kind of person, but it's about witnessing you and how God is already molding you in your life. And it's simple if you know where to look and how to look. You look at the person, you look at their heart, you look at their soul, and you see what gifts are in them. And you acknowledge that you're not the all-father seer. You don't see everything. You may see a lot. Like people, I see a lot. I don't even choose to. And it's like the spirit people have hits me like wind. You know? So I'm in the business, I'm in the game for people like myself, or even people different than me. Let me be a witness to you and your soul and these deep things that you're going through in your life that you're not going to go to your job and typically be able to talk about with other people. So I'm going to leave this here. Your life is a testimony, man. Don't knock it. Don't worry about failure. Your problems that you're going through in your life are specifically yours. They're yours, man. And they're exactly what you need. They're exactly what you need to be able to grow into the person that God is developing you into. And I'm going to keep saying that because that's the truth. And people don't want to hear that, man. People out here living these lives where it's like they don't even have real problems like that. And that's a blessing, you know. That is. But there is a time and place where you will be tested. You will be gifted with certain scenarios that challenge you in a way that are going to uproot everything that you thought about life. That's a gift because of who it allows you to be able to become. But if you push it off to the side and you avoid those things, It's not going to do anything for you. But hey, listen, God works in mysterious ways, man. It doesn't matter if you've been in your mommy's house drinking for 20 years. He's going to use that. All right? So, much love for anyone watching this, or even anyone not, I guess. Asshole. And talk to you soon.